Wow. Hi, everyone. Michael Sandler here, your host on Inspire Nation, with a electrifying start to our YouTube Live with the computer sliding down. And that actually about says it all. It has been a beautiful day here in Basalt, Colorado, just outside Aspen. We've had elk in the yard. We've had many deer in the yard. And I was doing well up until about an hour ago. And truth be told, I came off center at that point. And that's kind of what I want to talk with you about tonight is it is actually such a special time to dive in on the inside and to do such incredible dreaming about the future. And I'm going to share with you how we can be alchemists, how we can be wizards, how we can be truly magicians, and almost like waving a wand, create a new life for ourselves, a new future for ourselves. However, there is energy that we get to deal with, and that energy is huge. That's why we're having a positivity boot camp this entire week to help you rewire for positivity and move past this negative funk that it is so easy to get caught up in. Even myself, a teacher for decades on this stuff, got pulled down into the muck and mire a little bit an hour ago before doing a whole bunch of techniques to bring myself up. With that said, what an incredible time to dream. So I teach this process called automatic writing, where you go quiet, you go into a meditative state, and you put pen to paper. And whether you call it angels, guides, light workers, or simply tapping into that consciousness, that higher wisdom that is inside of each and every one of us, you put pen to paper and the answers start to come out. Now, usually I say you need to do this first thing in the morning, your automatic writing, or last thing in the evening when the world has gone quiet. Here's the trick. The world is almost completely quiet right now. If we can peel away the layers of the fear, then we can actually start to tap into this inner wisdom almost any time of the day. See, test. Now it looks like, okay, am I online? No, numbers are precipitously falling.
Buffering constantly.
I'm not sure what to say. Do we want to try it again on the phone? Will people know to come back? Can anybody confirm in the chat that we are online right now? And if you're catching this, please skip ahead to where we're
You
past.
are now.
I am. Okay. All right. Let's take a few deep breaths here. There is an energy right now. I'm actually going to try to bring this energy down for all of us. It is common that our electronics start to get affected by this energy. But there is such a beautiful peace, even in this coronavirus time, underneath the surface. We just have to become aware of where our energies are pulling us from. That's actually what our boot camp is going to be about. And on that note, if you're interested in the boot camp, it's Monday through Friday, $7 for the whole week. Going to get together once an hour. We are going to work on getting centered. We are going to work on doing group meditations to broadcast out love. I don't have a chat room, so I can't tell anything from here. And we are going to pump some goodness back into the field. This is a time that the more you put out, not in a go place, not in a work hard place, that the more that you put out positive energy, the more it comes back tenfold or 100-fold, which is why the last note on the boot camp, I'm going to keep it really short because I don't know what our bandwidth is here, is like tonight. If you can't afford to do the boot camp, get in touch with us. We're having a scholarship now where we'll do our best to help you out. And if you can afford to do it and can help somebody else out, when you pay for your boot camp, you can click a button to donate a seat for somebody else. Well, actually, 2 times it. You pay for a second seat, or for one seat, we'll pay for a second seat as well. Irvin Laszlo last week, two-time Nobel Peace Laureate nominee, and he was talking about there's a bifurcation of humanity right now. We can go one of two directions. We can go with a collective nightmare, or we can go to a collective dream. And I want us all, I'm very selfish about this. I want to see humanity actually evolve, go from a state of lack of coherence, not just a coherence, to super coherence, an energetic state change. The best way that we can achieve this state change is by doing the work ourselves. What does that mean? Well, we get beyond this. I don't usually use this term, but I'm going to go for it. Get beyond this 3D reality and create on the other side of the veil. What is truly possible? Dane here called it uncreating and recreating. He said, I won't get his exact quote because I was thrown off a little bit from here. But he talks about how asking what is possible. And that's the question that we get to ask ourselves. So Greg Braden, we had on the show yesterday, he'll be out on Monday. He talks about, do we want to go back to our 9-to-5 jobs? Do we want to go back to our old ways of living? Do we want to go back to our old ways of commuting? Do we want to go back to our old stress levels? Or is there something else possible? And I want to challenge you. I believe that there's something else incredibly possible. Why? Nothing will ever be the same. This is a global change here. We have never experienced anything like this in the history, the written history at least, of humanity. So we have a pre-CV world, a pre-coronavirus world. We're going to have a post-coronavirus world. What role do you want to play in this post-coronavirus world? So, homework assignment. I got my coach's hat on here tonight. Homework assignment number 1. I want you to pull out a journal, a composition notebook, anything that you've got that you can write in. And before you go to sleep each and every evening, I want you to start recreating, uncreating, recreating, and imagining a new future for yourself. I call this dream journaling. It's very simple. Pull out your pen, go to your notepad. You don't have to do this in automatic writing, though you certainly can, and that's automaticwriting.com. I can't plug it enough because it has truly transformed our lives and everybody, thousands that we've worked with at this point. But just go put pen to paper, and I want you to write out the most unrealistic dream possible, unrealistic future possible. I don't want you to live in the confines of this current reality because this current reality is going away. Actually, it's already gone away. Greg Braden was talking about us being in a worldwide sense of mourning or grief during this time period because we can never have back what we had before. I would say that we can have something even better. All we have to do is imagine it. So I want you to write out the most incredible future. Is it living in a crystal palace in the sky? Fantastic. Is it flying on a magic carpet? Awesome. Is it flying an airplane? That's cool too. Whatever it is to you, but more important than it being realistic is how much can you bring it to your emotional state? Do you want a sense of freedom, a sense of happiness, a sense of accomplishments, a sense of wealth and abundance? Do you want after this to have, oh my God, I just want the next 5 or 10 years to have peace? Is that what you're looking for? Get it down on paper, as unrealistic, as creative, as imaginative as you possibly can, as if you're a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid again. I remember what was it, third grade, fourth grade? I used to have kids, girls in particular. They would pay me. I would do architectural drafts and make them dream homes. Do you want a kitchen here? Do you want a bathroom there? And I would draw things out as I imagined myself being an architect. And that creative process was so cool. That's where I want you to go again. Go to the creative process. Go to that sense of play. And then as you put your notebook down and go to sleep, realize sleep is a sacred time of the day. Once that dream journal is down, don't turn back on the news. Don't turn back on your phone. Don't check your messages. Don't check your email. shut off the lights. You might want to go to prayer. I am continuously going to pumping out love and light when I go to sleep. Actually, technically, I'm pumping out love and light to everybody who's listening here and to my parents. Send that out through the evening. But the other thing that I'm doing is I'm going to bed dreaming of the most magical future. Magical future. This is Christmas right now. Why is it Christmas? Because the world has hit the pause button. It's a time we can breathe. It's a time we can dream again. And when we do that going to sleep, we end up dreaming again in the hypnagogic state, in this half here, half not here state on the other side of the veil. What you think about before you go to bed is so important for your future. Step back from the news. Step back from the e-commerce. Step back from anything that is not filling your mind with incredible goodness before you go to sleep. And then when you wake, I want you to do this exercise again. I want you to wake up, to meditate, to do some automatic writing or even some basic journaling. When you wake up, learn about yourself, learn about your higher self. Hear the inner wisdom from the angels, from the guides, from whatever you want to call it. And then I want you to go back to your dream journaling. And again, imagine and write out your most positive, powerful future. If you're an artist, draw it out. If you're a writer, write it out. You can almost sing it out, envision it, whatever that looks like to you. And then set this as your intention. When I teach intention setting, and we're just scratching the surface here, we're going to do so much more of this in the boot camp this week. When I set intention, write it out. For instance, I intend to live a greater, freer, more in alignment life that brings out my true, authentic self. Why are we in this coronavirus time? Because we're living somebody else's life. We're living somebody else's dreams. We're living somebody else's future or collective nightmare. But we aren't living ours. And universe had enough of that. She hit the red button and said, you're an amazing being. You're an amazing species, but you're completely out of alignment with who you are and who you're meant to be. Well, by setting this attention, we can put ourselves back into alignment. And then throughout the day, don't fall into the trap. I've gotten this so much in my automatic writing. It lectures me each day on different things or teaches me of dwelling on politics. That's not going to help you remember who you truly are. Don't dwell on the numbers. That's only going to scare the crap out of you. Or the latest good move or bad move in the news, but continuously bring it back to you. I'm not saying ostrich up, put your head in the sand. Although I must say that since Tuesday, I have touched the news fractionally, which has given me the power, the ability to teach, the ability to do these group meditations. Because if I'm continuously dwelling on the negative news, that's where I'm going to vibrate. But you don't have to keep your head in the sand. Check in, come out, drop back into yourself. Continuously bring it back to you. And then daydream. This word has gotten such a bad rap. I got in so much trouble. I had my hand whacked with a ruler. I was sent to the principal's office. I was sent back to kindergarten in first and second grade for daydreaming. But that's where we need to go. You see, we can dream any future we want at this point. Humanity is at its lightest point ever. You're going to go, well, it feels like it's at its heaviest point. Sometimes that heaviness is necessary for the lightness. Everything tends to be in perfect opposition, in perfect balance. So where we're seeing fear, death, and destruction, also leaves the opportunity for incredible creation and rebirth anew. You can be the change you want to see the world. You can certainly be the change you want in your own world. So, daydream about what's possible. Daydream about the good things that can happen. And then take it. This is something I've been working with my coaching clients. Imagine what the future is going to look like post CV and the role that you want to play in it. So beforehand, you may have said, it's too late to be a podcaster. It's too late to be a coach. It's too late to do this. It's too late to do that. Okay, maybe if you're 40, 50 and you're 4'8", you're not going to be able to be a pro NBA player, though who knows? But on the other hand, everything that it was, quote, too late for has gone away. It's all up for grabs. It is all possible. This is a complete and total reset. So ask, what do I feel the future is going to look like? What are people going to need? What do I have? Where do I shine the most? And what's the role that I get to play in this future? Viktor Frankl, a survivor of Auschwitz, wrote some amazing books, including Man's Search for Meaning. And he said that the number one determining factor on whether somebody survived the world's worst concentration camps, other than luck, or we'll call it blessings, wasn't how strong they were, wasn't how crafty they were, wasn't any of these things. It was, did they have meaning? Were they thinking of something purposeful in the moment, purposeful for their family by getting out of there, or purposeful, like Viktor Frankl himself, in doing some sort of work to help the entire world when he got out? Ask yourself when you're daydreaming, what gives me the greatest meaning? It may be literally going to a 3D printer and printing masks or ventilators or sewing masks at this point, or something that none of us has even thought of. What gives you meaning? It could be, I want to be a meditator like those in the cave, and I want to sit in my living room, and I want to focus on as much love and light as I can and bring myself up to the highest vibration possible, because that feeds back into the field. We're all one, we're all connected. That's why we wake up in the morning jittery, but it's also why we can pump back in so much love and light during this time. And that can be what gives you incredible meaning. So to recap, dream journal at night, the most unrealistic dreams, the most creative dreams, the most amazing dreams possible, and make it as emotive, energy in motion, emotive as you possibly can. In the morning, do something like automatic writing. Do something that maybe includes some journaling, or at least tapping into the inner wisdom in any way that you can. Set an intention for the day, how you're going to have the most magnificent day, for your life ahead again, what that's going to look like. Write again the most unrealistic dreams possible, and then daydream throughout the day. Can you see where I'm going with this? Let's not live the same lives that we were living before. Let's not say, I hope to God I get back that minimum wage job, that 9 to 5, or today 8 to 6 job, or that pencil pushing job. I know you need the income. I get it. But let's dream of something more. You are an alchemist. You are a magician. You create in each and every moment with your mind. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You are a manifester. Don't think so? Are you hungry? Can you go to the fridge and get some food? You just manifested. It's all energy. It's all a magical game. And we truly live in a magical world if we simply choose it and tap into it. So I'm going to go and open it up to questions here. Before I do that, please come join us in this boot camp Monday through Friday. We're going to get together as a group, as a family. You're going to find camaraderie. You can be on video. You can be hiding from video. It doesn't matter. It's $7. So if you join one class, it's worth $7. If you come all week, it's worth $7. You get recordings of the class. Again, so you don't even have to attend live. It's $7. We are going to do group meditations to flip your energy levels on the head, to go from fear and funk to rewiring your mind for a positive mindset. And that positive mindset is you are going to have the courage, you are going to have the confidence, you are going to have the ability, and you are going to have the wherewithal to not only create your dreams, but soon enough to live them. That's what you're going to get this week. You will shift your energy levels and you will be on fire, despite the fact that the worst may still be to come. I'm going to put that in quotes, because for yourself, you are going to be playing the game at a much higher level coming out of this week. We've got If you can, donate to help somebody else get there. And if you can't make it because $7 is out of reach for you, let us know as well. We're going to have as many scholarships as we can, as many people can donate. We're going to double that to get in as many people as we can. We will fill up. We did fill for our last one. So you definitely want to get signed up now. Jessica is putting the link down here, but please questions before we do a group meditation at the end. And I do have a question for you though, which is we have a choice to make for tomorrow night, which is, are we going to hold another session like this with a short group intention meditation, or are we going to come together and have a more extended healing group meditation tomorrow night? If we do a group meditation for everybody, meaning if we focus on that, it is going to be for all of the emergency workers, healthcare workers, service providers, everybody who's putting themselves out there. And when we focus on them and bring a laser-like focus on them tomorrow night, we will each feel better as well. There's an amplification process that happens for each one of us when we, like individual lights as part of a laser beam, come to focus and come together and focus on one very specific target. So let us know in the chat room whether you want that group meditation tomorrow night or you want another session like tonight, and then come join us Monday through Friday. $7, no place better to go. Well, maybe you do. If so, be there. And nature, nature, nature. But come join us. It will be a life-changing experience. So, Pookie, what do we have? You should see this. I wish you could see this. She has dove into the chat and is trying to respond to everybody like nothing I've ever seen before.
We've got a question.
We have a question. Excellent.
Would you like to read it?
I don't have a chat room.
Oh, it's still frozen.
It's still this is one of the bummers when this happens. I love being able to get feedback from people, so I feel in a bit of a vacuum here tonight.
I think it's because YouTube has a lot more viewers on during this time period.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, thank you for hanging in there. Let's go to questions. And please put your question up here because we will continue for the next half an hour or so, or until questions stop. So don't be afraid, don't be shy. Ask your question.
Okay, our question is from Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
Are there questions I can ask myself to help me solidify what it is I want to create based on my gifts or skills? I've been taking care of others. Time for a new me to live in abundance and service.
Cheryl, awesome question. Are there questions I can ask myself to reinvent myself during this time? It's kind of an abridged version. And so question number one, who is Cheryl when she's not living somebody else's life? Oh my God, that was a tough one. I'm sorry, Cheryl. Please forgive me for giving that as the first question. Who would Cheryl be if Cheryl could do anything that she wanted? Who would Cheryl be if Cheryl was given $1 million? Who would Cheryl be if she didn't listen to the voices in her head, what Don Miguel Ruiz calls the government of your mind, that says you can do this, but you can't do that. Or this will make you money, but that won't, because everything is up for grabs. So if I was to come to one specific question, Cheryl, for everything that you're looking at, I would ask, it's only 3 words, Cheryl, whose is this? Oh, I get to be serving people this way. Whose is this? Well, that's what my parents said I should do. That's what my teacher said I should do. Oh, but I could do this other thing over here that I'm told I could make a lot of money at. Whose is this? Oh, wait, that's not mine either. What I want you to do is peel away the layers of the onion, Cheryl, until we get to who Cheryl is and what Cheryl would like to do if there are no rules, if there are no limitations, if you could do or be anything you want. Cheryl, I'll give you one homework assignment. Everybody else, you can do this as well. It's the first homework assignment that I give people before I start coaching with them. I'd like you, Cheryl, and I'd like everybody else listening, if you'd like to do this, for the next week, I would like you to wake up each morning and write down 10 things that you like to do and 10 things that you're good at. The trick is they can't be the same things each day. Feel free to ask a partner, a spouse, a child, a parent. anyone that knows you, because what's going to happen is after the first few days, you may run out of things that you think you're good at or that you like to do. But it's kind of that nexus between those things, something that you're really good at and something that you really love to do, that you are going to find your purpose and your meaning. A last note on this for everybody, not just for Cheryl. While I want you to start diving into this right now, you do not need the answer today. You do not need the answer tomorrow either. What you're doing is planting seeds. I'm saying this really slowly because it's too easy to get hyped up. This is one of the challenges with self-help and think, I need an answer today, or there's something wrong with me. I don't know my purpose. I don't know my direction. Well, like I was joking with Dane here last night, an amazing, awesome episode. I can't recommend it enough. We are now shaking the collective etch-a-sketch of the planet. Everything's been wiped clear. Everything is possible. We just have to give ourselves permission. So look at what you're good at. Look at what you like to do. Look for patterns. Look for surprises. 10 things every day for the next week. That means 70 things you like to do, 70 things that you are good at. Can't be the same thing 2 days in a row. And start to... You may even look at, not may, I would look at, I think I mentioned this with Greg Braden last night. Look at what is too easy for you, that you wouldn't say isn't a skill, isn't an ability, because it just comes naturally to you. That may be exactly where you want to go in the future, because what comes natural to you may not come naturally to somebody else. Myself, Dan DeRue, Fox TV, like 2 decades ago. No, it was only 10, 11 years ago. Said, Michael, you can make a telephone pole sound interesting. Until that point, I may not have recognized that I'm good on camera or on the air. That was just easy to me. Everybody likes to do that. Everybody likes public speaking. No, not at all. So look for those areas where people come to you and say, Jennifer, Jane, Cheryl, can you help me with X, Y, or Z? That's an area that you're probably pretty good at. The question then becomes, is it something you like to do? Beautiful question, Cheryl. Do we have more questions, Pookie?
We have a goodie from Cosmo.
All right. Cosmo will always give me a goodie. Cosmo, we love you. We love you. We love you.
Your input on this statement, Michael. The external world will undergo a change in appearance once we undergo a change of perception internally.
Oh, absolutely, Cosmo. The external world, as above, so below, as within, so without. It is a giant, I look at this world, and we can talk about holographic and all this cool stuff. I look at this world as a giant pond. And this pond is merely a reflection of everything up above. Now, that's in this idea of a 3D world. I tend to stay away from 5D and stuff like that because it gets a little bit too down the woo-woo rabbit hole, and I tend to lose people, I think, there. However, whether we call it 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever D we want to call it, I think there's some great 7D mangoes that we knew the owners of the company in the Philippines. When we focus on what is our new milieu, a new pattern, our new way of perceiving the world from the inside, everything changes. I can do an example of this. So you don't have to be alchemical or anything like this to do this. If you go into the fridge and you don't think there's milk in there, guess what? You ain't gonna find the milk. If instead your partner or your Pookie says, it's on the top shelf to the right, you'll go, oh, wow, it was there all along. A change in perception internally of what was possible helped you see it externally. Our filter changes, our perception changes from a quantum mechanics or quantum physics point of view, literally. What we see before us, which was, is it waves, is it particles, a new beingness comes into play once we see it first and change on the inside. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer's line. It's been said way too many times, but I'll say it again. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. However, it's first a matter of bringing that focus internally. When we change how we see things on the inside or from up above, the reflection in this pool of water changes. That's why it is so important that we do not start drowning or continue to drown in mainstream news, that we do not continue to live a fear-based existence now more than ever, but that we continuously pull ourselves back and ask, what is possible? Where do I want to be? How can I see this beautiful world healing and growing and elevating from this place? And then that's also, Cosmo, why we need to give it time. Can we shift instantly? Absolutely. But I don't want anybody to push it, to put the pedal to the metal and say, I need to shift this moment. No, as I was talking with Greg about last night, there may be a natural grieving process. This is a process where we collectively, I do a lot of, for animals particularly, souls get knocked out of the body. They have no way to get back home if they're in such shock right away because they died in such a state of shock, like animals getting hit by a car. And there are people who really specialize in doing this with humans, with spiritual beings living a human existence as well. We as a species have just been hit by a giant freight train locomotive. I think Como called it a train moving at light speed. We're a little bit bewildered. So we don't need to have the answers right away. Love ourselves up. Give ourselves time. I love myself. It's okay. I will come to the idea and start to shift on the inside. My mantra, especially during this time, is kind, gentle, easy, good. How easy can I take it? How gently can I take it? How kind can I be to myself so that I can help create something good or even better? Beautiful, beautiful question, Cosmo. Love you so, so much. Next question.
Well, first of all, an update on the poll.
Yes.
So far, we have a tie between a group meditation and a regular live.
So put your vote in whether you want a group meditation tomorrow night or you want a regular live like this is, where we talk about a particular topic. We have a Q&A section and then a very short meditation at the end. So keep that feedback coming.
Okay. And also, there was an interesting suggestion from Stephen.
All right.
Who writes, people, if they can, donate 10% of their Fed stimulus check to an organization in need.
I could not agree with that more. This gentleman's name is Stephen. Stephen, I could not agree with that more. Actually, I'm going to go twofold on this, Stephen. But let's talk about abundance here for a minute. I'm going to say, Stephen, take 10% of that money and find a way to sock it away. This is called a 10% of account. And so put 10% away for yourself for a very, very rainy day and do not touch it as if your life depends on it. Because when the universe sees you putting money away for yourself, it gives you more. Then take 10%, we can call it like a tithing, and give it to your organization or people in need. I don't want to leave anybody else out. You see someone in need, you see some way that can help. And that is an amplifier. That is a boomerang, Stephen. You're so right. It will come back to you, maybe even 10x or 100x. The more generous we can be with our time, with our money, with whatever resources we have right now. That's why we're pretty much on the air each and every day, which is a miracle that Pookie is hanging in with me, because I have not way too much, so much energy for this, but she has to do the back end. And that is 100 times harder than what I'm doing. But in any way you can serve or give away, I would do it. So I would choose, before that stimulus check hits you, if you're in the States, before that check hits you, know what you want to do with it, or promise yourself you will set that aside for those in need And then you may even set up a separate account for you to put 10% aside that you will not touch. So, so powerful when it comes to the manifestation process.
Our next question is from Victoria. I've been journaling for years off and on at times. At times I get in a zone and I kind of lose track of time. Is this what automatic writing is?
That's a great question, Victoria. It may or may not be. Automatic writing tends to be a third person, well, no, I've been corrected by my editors, a second person process, whereas journaling is a first person process. So journaling is an I process, or to quote a Beatles song, I, me, my. It's first person, this is my world, this is my situation, this is what's going on with me today. Nothing wrong with it. Super powerful, can learn so much. And it is an awesome exercise to empower ourselves. However, automatic writing is a process. If you're spiritual, I'm a really spiritual guy. I go to the angels, I go to the guides. Napoleon Hill, he wrote Think and Grow Rich. He had a boardroom there where he had George Washington, he had Lincoln, he had Edison, even though Edison was still alive, but he was reaching his spirit. And he actually had a conversation with Thomas Edison about this later on. And Thomas Edison chuckled. It was really, really cool from what I understand. So we are plugging in automatic writing to something greater than ourselves. We can call it our inner wisdom, that voice inside of us that says, turn the car. And we turn and avoid something at just the last moment. We can call it our higher self, our spirit. We can call it God, source, angels, guides, universe, Jesus, Jehovah, Adonai, Buddha, Allah, whomever, whatever. And we can write to whomever and whatever. I'm continuously writing to Mother Earth, to the elders, to the ancestors. And when you're in this place, your pen starts moving without your thinking mind going. I'll literally have an exercise where I'll have people write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write. And all of a sudden the words start to pop out, usually with you are loved or something like that. And it is this gentle voice that is never critical, that is never a shoulda, woulda, coulda, why didn't you? That will then start speaking to you in that second person. Why don't you try this? You are loved. Dear one, it's okay. Dear child, everything is good. And it will be this voice of calm, of soothing, of clarity, someone or something that is stepping so far above or outside of your thinking mind that it couldn't possibly come from you. The real briefest story of Jessica and myself is we got knocked on our butts in Maui. We had a $350,000 book deal. We didn't blow it. We worked our asses off on Maui, but we eventually ran out of funds, tried to build programs for other people and tried to do all this stuff that came from the head. And we got knocked on our butts. Jessica got really sick. I drove us into the ground. I had a second near-death experience. Almost killed the both of us, truth be told. We ended up going back from Maui to New Jersey to her childhood bedroom, 2 twin mattresses on the floor in her 8x10 childhood bedroom. And it's there that I knew I had to do things a different way. And I started doing my automatic writing, which I knew how to do, but wasn't using. And that automatic writing helped me step out of myself, helped me see my situation, helped me see what I was doing, even from that journaling place, coming from the I, Captain. And it helped me to see big picture my life. Told me to start the show, told me what the show would be about, told me to go with Jessica's title of Inspire Nation. Thank you, Pookie. Every step of the way came from my automatic writing. And so now, each and every day, like oxygen, each morning, I dive in and I say, what do I need to know today? Where am I going? What's the most important thing for me to do today? Almost always take better care of the Pookie. And is there anything I need to know that I may not be aware of? And then my pen starts moving on that page. And I get typically really profound words of wisdom that I never even thought of. That's how I know it's automatic writing, because it wasn't actually on my mind. Now, right now, it's been more chop wood, carry water kind of answers than I would like. What does that mean, chop wood, carry water? It means more functional, more day-to-day. Here's what you get to do, Michael. Rather than telling me how the cosmos came together, rather than telling me a message of, well, I guess I did get this morning, be an ambassador of love. If you're listening to this, be an ambassador of love. But rather than the deepest, most profound words of wisdom, I get more of the practical, the pragmatic lately. I think that's because I'm feeding into so much of the field of everyone around us. But if I get up earlier, if I start to strip away these layers of that field, I get more profound spiritual lessons that I can carry back into my teaching and carry back into my day-to-day life than I have ever experienced out of any book I have ever read. They're for me, through me, about me, because we're all one. So that's kind of the briefest thing of what automatic writing is. Can I recommend it? Yes. Is it life-changing? Oh my God. Does everybody get to do it? I can't recommend it enough. When you are in that place and starting to communicate with that voice, will it become clearer and clearer until you start to hear that voice all of the time? Oh, you betcha. That's how I'm doing this right now. That's how I do my interviews as well. I had the most beautiful interview with a doctor 2 days ago on Dreams of the Dying, Dr. Christopher Kerr. Oh my God, was it an amazing interview. You know, when people are in their last few weeks and they start seeing their parents, their grandparents, their loved ones, if it's children that are about to pass on, they start to see deceased pets. And we had the most beautiful conversation. However, I had an interview with Greg Braden coming up less than a half an hour after this interview was to finish. Dream interview with Greg Braden. Dr. Christopher Kerr's interview, also a phenomenal one. But my thinking mind was fried. My thinking mind could not think its way through this interview. But because I've been doing automatic writing so much, I could drop down and the right questions just came to me. In fact, Chris told me at the end, it was his best interview he had ever had, and shared a synchronicity about that. It was because it wasn't come from me. You cultivate that voice when you start to do that connection, when you start to make that handshake between you and your higher self, between you and angels or guides, between you and your wisdom. You don't have to be spiritual about this. And then that voice becomes clearer and clearer throughout each and can't be thrown off guard. I did in prep for this show. I went into automatic writing. I heard what I was going to talk about. And then I got spun right off of my chair. And it took me a good 30, 40 minutes to pull myself back. So I don't want to pretend that it's going to be your be-all, end-all. But it is a voice you will carry with you. I have had coaching clients who I've taught this to who've gone on to be mediums and channels in their own right, because that's what you're doing. You're channeling your highest self, your spirit. You're channeling something outside of yourself, or you're channeling that inner wisdom. All right. So I can't recommend it enough. Automaticwriting.com. It is a beautiful program that we take you through each and every step of the way, answering all of your questions as well. And I know we're going to have, I don't know, it's on the calendar. It's probably 10 days or so from now that I believe we're going to have a live class for everybody who signs up as well. And you might know the date of that. I don't know if it's a week. I'm guessing it is a week from this Thursday. Is my guess.
What is?
Our automatic writing class.
I don't know.
But we will let you know. All right. Do we have a few more questions? Then we'll dive into a meditation.
Yes. A question from Allison Muse.
You're very spunky right now.
Thank you. How does the universe view saving money as a reason to give you more? How is it best to look at it in a way that isn't coming from lack? This is
Allison, what the universe does is the universe is a mirror of how you treat yourself. When you take care of yourself, by paying yourself first, by putting money aside for yourself, by loving yourself up, by holding on for money for yourself, the universe goes, oh, let's give her more. She knows what to do with it. She's taking great care of herself. When instead you give all of it away, you spend all of it, you have none left at the end of the month because you didn't think of yourself first. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't, Allison. Then the universe goes, oh, not time yet. We'll wait, we'll hold off. So something magical happens when you start taking care of yourself first. This is a boomerang universe, as above, so below, as within, so without. Whatever we give away comes back tenfold. Well, Michael, you're saying hold on to money and you're saying give it away. Yes, actually, that's what I said, both. 10% for yourself and 10% to give away. But when you give to yourself, that act of giving to yourself brings it back, just as the act of giving it away brings it back too. I love going to the story of Dr. Joe DeMartini. One of the people in The Secret, he is either a billionaire or very, very close to it now. He lives on a traveling yacht called, I think it's called the Earth, or it's either the World or the Earth. I think it's called the Earth. I don't know where they are right now with this current situation. He was homeless, poisoning himself, eating, I think it was pine nuts on the beach off of the big island of Hawaii. Got deathly, deathly ill, had no money at all until he started his 10% account. I don't know if he read the book or not that we did that really shifted us. It came from our mentor, Jack. He gave us the book, The Last Man, or The Richest Man in Babylon. And this is the process that Dr. Joe Martini started, is he started keeping 10% of whatever came in for himself. And he found at first, that was like $1 a day. He started putting away for himself. And then he found, well, that dollar came back. And so he went to $2. And then he went to $10. And then he went to 100. Did I mention this guy is a billionaire or close to it now? And then he went to 1,000. And then he went to, I don't know if it was $10,000, $100,000 a month. Crazy amounts, because no matter how much money he started putting away, more money came back. Now, last note on this, Allison, and forgive me, whenever I say last note, is never the last note because I hear something else. I am not saying stop spending. I want to be very clear about this. Currency, money, wealth is about continuing the flow of money. The more goes out, comes back. The more goes out, comes back. But out of that percent that comes back, tuck away that 10% for yourself. But I'm not saying hold up. I'm not saying don't spend anything. Even during this time where we all have, in a sense, a spending freeze, and I unfortunately used that word during a CJ interview this week. I said there is a freeze on what we're spending. No, we'll still tip super, super well. We'll still take great care of our employees. We'll still do everything we can to circulate that money, because money is energy. And like a stagnant pond that you never, ever want to swim in, you don't want that money sitting still. That's not your 10% account, but that's for the rest of your money. You need that to flow. All right, time for a couple more questions. We'll dive into a meditation. What is the survey looking like for tomorrow night? What is the?
So far, people are wanting, we have more votes for lives like tonight.
Okay.
But someone did suggest
yes,
live with a short meditation.
Excellent. And that's what we're doing tonight. So far, that's what it's looking like for tomorrow night. Now, we do have a subset here, because this is the subset that is enjoying the live, that came to the live, that wants another live. We love you guys.
Next question is from Cosmo.
Yes.
Have you read the book Power versus Force from David Hawkins?
I haven't. I've heard a lot about this book, but I can't really speak about it because I have not read it.
If so, do you know the chart of consciousness he uses in energy testing people?
Go ahead.
And we do.
Yes, we know of this, but it's not something that we practice with on a regular basis.
If so, energy test me. I asked if he wanted you to test him now. He says the chart that is available shows the level of consciousness that you're on. The higher the level, the higher the consciousness. The higher the consciousness, the closer to enlightenment you are. Yep.
So, forgive me here, Joe. I think the Pookie probably already knows where I'm going to go. And that is, I am not a big tester or a rater of anyone on anything. And there's a reason for that. And that's because I don't want anybody to feel pigeonholed by anything. For instance, I'm not an Enneagram guy. A type this, a type that, a this, a that, a the other. I think any way that we define ourselves limits us, because we are all unlimited beings. We are all enlightened masters having lifetimes right now that may appear less than enlightened, that may appear less enlightened than this piece of lava, which is actually probably incredibly enlightened. And so there is a danger to me of having any number. So for instance, if you were to test me, Joe, and you came up with 650 or whatever it is, woohoo, that's awesome. If you tested me and I came up with a 2, woohoo, that's awesome. And I would be scared that if I came up with one number or the other, that my ego would try to hijack me and start to tell me a story based on that. We are all incredible spiritual beings living a human existence. So if we look at our parents, for instance, parents that are completely and totally misbehaving, although Jessica's parents and my parents are now doing much better during this coronavirus time, we may say, why aren't they so enlightened? Why aren't they listening? Why aren't they behaving? Oh, kids, what are you going to do with them? But the fact of the matter is, they are on their spiritual journey, and they may be appearing, in quotes, to be less enlightened during this lifetime, but actually may be the most incredible spiritual masters in disguise, as may be the people in power, even if they seem to be making the least enlightened decisions. We don't know, because the game isn't being played just here, Joe, as you know better than almost anybody here. It's being played on the other side of the veil, and little bits and pieces are being reflected in this pond. And so I don't want to pigeonhole anyone into feeling they are less than the most divine self by giving them any label at all. My sister went through the ringer growing up. Why? I guess I went through the ringer too, because I scored high on the IQ tests and she didn't. And so my parents pushed me. Oh my God, did they push me? And they didn't on her. And she left for college feeling less than because of that. I actually left for college feeling like a complete and total screw up, because my mom would do things like show me a printout in the Parade magazine from Bill Gates, and at 17 say, why can't you be more like him? The Pookie looks like she wants to jump in here.
Did Bill Gates finish college?
No.
So she wanted you to drop out of college?
No. But it is a very valid point. And hopefully I've got that right, because there's part of me that's going, you sure about that? And I know Steve Jobs didn't.
Let me check.
Okay, please do check for me. So I don't claim to know anything. I don't claim, if I ever, this is an Ask Michael Anything, and the irony is, if I say I have the answer, don't trust me. Check for yourself. Check in for yourself. Don't believe anybody else. Don't believe any label. Don't believe any definition that you give yourself.
He dropped out of Harvard after 2 years.
All right. So I was correct on this one. Very, very good, Pookie. So what my mom was saying is, I want you to go to an Ivy League and I want you to quit. She would have had a conniption. I hope this helps, Joe. And this is just my opinion. It is neither right nor wrong. Check in with yourself. I want to empower everyone if you're listening to this. Ask questions. Watch the Dane Here interview. How does it get any better than this? Ask questions of everything. Ask questions that I'm asking. Ask questions that are coming out in the news, the negative worthless stimulation. Ask questions that are coming to you from your mind. Truly question everything. Everything. Love you, Joe.
I think we're good.
We're good. All right. Excellent. So we are going to do a brief meditation. And then tomorrow night will probably be another live like this. I will say one more time, come join us. You're our homies, you're our family, you're our friends. Come join us for the boot camp this week. We're going to all get together. We're going to get together live on Zoom. You can hide yourself if you don't want to be seen. You can ask questions if you want to be seen. We are going to have a raucous good time. And by raucous, I mean Jessica took in our last boot camp to doing energetic tickling of me is the best way I can describe it, to where every single one of us, I think, was cracking up and falling out of our seats. So not only are we going to shift your energy, your mindset, and help you to create a new future for yourself, but you're going to probably find yourself splitting your pants laughing even during this coronavirus time, during this Monday through Friday, and it's only $7. It'll be at 8:30 East Coast, 5:30 West Coast. There'll be recordings if you can't make it. If you can only make one class, $7. If you catch them all on recording, it's $7. If you make all classes, it's $7. If you come in late, it's $7. It doesn't matter. That's for the whole thing. Or make a donation so somebody else can join as well. And for every $7 donation you give, we basically ante up the same on the other side so that we'll bring 2 people in for everybody that you donate a spot for. Come join us before it fills. We love you. All right. Pookie, I haven't given any thought to what a good short meditation would be. Class will be 1 hour plus a guided meditation. So probably, no, we were promising everybody we were going to be off at about that hour mark.
With the guided meditation?
No, I'm going to say we're going to be off 1:10 to 1:15 with the guided meditation, because I want to give you a good 15 to 20 minute meditation that'll be really easy to follow. Last note on this. We're all full. We're all overwhelmed. We are all not needing another tool like we need that proverbial hole in the head. So we are going to, while we call this a boot camp, this is going to be the kindest, gentlest, easiest boot camp you have ever experienced. We're going to help you shift through the power of the group rather than muscling it on its own. There is going to be no force involved. There is going to be all flow to make it super easy for you this week, because in this state of collective overwhelm, the last thing that you need is anything challenging or difficult. There will be go time in the future, but this week will not be it. This will be super easy. Imagine that if you signed up for a class and they told you this is going to be easy. Well, this will be easy. Okay, I need a tissue. Do we have a tissue here? Oop, I do have. I apologize. And then
my sleeve.
Now, how's that social distancing? All right, and the question that I have for the Pookie is, and I'm going to use the tissue again, is there anything in particular that you feel we get to meditate on tonight?
No, I'm sorry.
You're all right.
Chat-brained.
All right, I was really spun earlier today. And so I want to de-spin everybody here tonight. But while I'm doing that, I'm looking on the desk for my gold coin. And I have found my gold coin. This is my special handy dandy manifestation coin. And we are going to use this tonight to help everybody around the globe that is sick with the coronavirus. And so what I want you to do is I want you to see everybody that is sick. So first off, sit comfortably. We're not going to do one of those you have to sit upright and cross your legs. I want you to just sit comfortably. I want you to start breathing in and out through your nose, down to your belly. Back up, out through the nose. I like putting my hand on the belly to feel the belly expand as you breathe in And come back in as you breathe out. You breathe in, your belly expands. You breathe out, your belly contracts or comes in. Now, as you continue to breathe in and out, I want you to picture everybody worldwide that may be sick or affected by the coronavirus. As you continue to breathe in and out, I want you to see their spirits. And I want you to see their spirit, part of that spirit, not their whole spirit. It's a golden, glowing spirit. And I want you to envision it coming out of their body and walking up, but not the stairs to heaven, but the stairs just above the earth, where every single one of these spirits comes together. It comes together as one. And that is now one spirit, one golden spirit. And I want you, as you continue to breathe in and out, start to send that spirit love and light. What does that look like? Simplest is to breathe in light from the sun and send out light to that spirit. Breathe in light from the sun. Send out light to that spirit. Breathe in that light. Send out light. And now I want you to envision your own spirit inside your body, but part of it, not all of it. Seeing a golden stairway to your right. And I want part of your spirit to hop out and hop on those stairs. And as you continue to breathe in and out, I want you to gently start walking up the stairs to that golden glowing spirit that is everybody who's struggling with coronavirus. And you're walking up, up, up until you're right there by their side. You can see them just out of the corner of your eye to your right. And I want you to stand next to them. Forget about social distancing here for this one. And I want you to take their hand. And now you breathe in light from the sun. And you send out light right into their body. Breathe in light. Send out light. Now a funny thing is happening. Because you're holding their hand, as you glow brighter with each breath, so do they. You breathe in light, you find them glowing brighter. You send out light, you find yourself glowing brighter as well. You breathe in light, you're both glowing bright. You breathe out light, you're glowing so incredibly bright. As you continue to glow brighter and brighter with each breath, something funny happens. You realize there's no separation between you and them. With each breath, you start to feel better. With each breath, they start to feel better. With each breath, you grow closer to them. And with each breath, they grow closer to you. We're in an interesting time in humanity. A time where it has never been so much us versus them as it is now. Where there's never been so much division, so much strife, so much pointing back out. You begin to meld with everyone that's struggling on this planet. You begin to become that other person, not struggling, but bringing your love, bringing your light, bringing your life force. Truth be told, the more life force you bring, the stronger and healthier you feel. As you look down at your hands now, you realize you're no longer holding their hand. You are their hands, and you're yours as well. For we are truly one. Forget what the news says, the president, even someone on Facebook. You realize we are one spirit, one organism, one beingness. And that when you choose the light, when you choose to breathe in light, when you choose to send out light, not only do you feel incredibly better, but so does everyone else on the planet. So when you feel helpless and you say, I have no idea what I can do, how I can help, simply go back to this meditation or back to the breath and realize with each breath, I have the opportunity to breathe life, to heal lives, and to elevate the health and consciousness of everyone, everywhere. We are one. You and I, there's no separation. You and everyone that is sick, infirmed, or incredibly healthy, no separation there as well. You and the person you like the least, you and the person you like the most. We are all individual flowers on this rose bush called humanity. One plant, one being, one life. And so as I leave you here this evening, I encourage you, when you start to spin, when you feel completely spun out by the world, by the news, by their loved ones, by anyone who's saying anything that feels out of coherence with who you are and where you are, remember, we are one. Send them light. Send them love. Breathe in light. Send out love. And breathe in light and send out love. I love you guys so, so much. Have the most magical, magical evening ahead. Feel free to continue this meditation as long as you'd like. Share this. Help somebody else to find this channel. Come join us for the boot camp Monday. Join us tomorrow night, same time, same channel. And have the most amazing love and light-filled day ahead. I love you, my sister. I love you, my brother. We are one. Shine bright. Woohoo. Love you guys.